So yeah, welcome. It's week 3 already. They do fly by the weeks, don't they? So it's day 1, week 3. And the theme is a happy, healthy, open heart. And then obviously it's not just going to be physically, that will be emotionally as well. So first of all, just asking you all how you are. What's going on in your bodies? What's going on in your hearts? I've got a lovely session for us today. Got some Franklin Method heart work and some lovely movement. And then I'm thinking on Wednesday we'll have a real cardio workout for our hearts. So yeah, first of all, if you could just let me know, how are you? So how are your bodies? How are your hearts? Oh yeah, on a high after your race yesterday. Yeah, legs are tired. So how far was that race, Catherine? Yeah, amazing. And you look so great. You look like just super slender, super slim. A groin strain. Oh, and the big show is this Sunday. Might be nice to do some gentle psoas work for you, Sienna. We won't do that today, but if you can remember it from the first round of Dream Body, it might be nice to revisit some psoas to just get some real internal support so your groin doesn't have to work too hard. So Bad is feeling great, and ballet class planned in the morning. Brilliant. Went to dance show last night, which was really wonderful for my heart. 10K and my personal best time. That's so great, Catherine. Yeah, really good. And I bet your heart was really pumping. It's amazing to think of what our hearts do. So if you have typed something in, that's great. Been in nature, lots makes me happier. Yeah, so it might be nice, we'll kind of tie that in a little bit later, how nature affects us and also how we're affecting everything around us as well. So first of all, or second of all, I want to ask you, why do we have a heart? Or what is the job of the heart? And I was just typing into Google, do all creatures have hearts? And they don't actually. So some creatures just have their own circulation system. So like little flatworms. I don't think jellyfish have hearts. Maybe some other crustaceans don't have hearts. So what does our heart do? Why do we have a heart? Why have we evolved to have a heart and not just a circulation system that works without it, do you think? I think it's something to sit on. You just think about why we have a heart and what does it do. And what I love the image that's the first thing to form. So when I had my first scan when I was pregnant, Sarah I don't think she'd even sprouted her little arms and legs yet. I went really, really early on, and they just detect that heartbeat, and that's all you can see. So it's just like this, it starts off as a tube, like a long tube, the heart, and then over time, as everything starts to develop, the heart kind of twists itself into this, it's like a figure of 8, which you see, it's like the affinity sign, you see it quite a lot in nature, or eternity sign. So it feeds everything with oxygen and love. Yeah, I like that. And remembers everything too. Yeah, lots more too. My heart drives me physically and emotionally. Yeah, so it's the first thing that forms is our heart, and it forms as this tube, and then over time it kind of spirals, and it's actually the how the blood pumps through it, that's what actually forms it, which I think is really cool. So as the blood is pumped through it, it comes into, I can show you the picture now actually. I've got a picture on my phone here of like a diagram of the heart. So we have 4 chambers of the heart. So if you just take your right hand and make a fist, and where this little bone is here, so that's called the pisiform and triquetrum, so there's 2 little bones there. If you place that on your sternum, so on your breastbone there in the middle, and then you just have your hand come across there, that's where your heart lives, and that's pretty much how big your heart is. So it's about the same size as your fist. That's quite big. And it lives there, and it's slightly on the left-hand side, and it's on a diagonal. And Eric does a really funny, like, kind of takeoff of the heart. It's almost like it's sitting a bit like this. which I think is really cute. So that you can just imagine your heart like just kind of sitting there inside of your lungs. So we have 4 chambers. We have the right atrium, so blood, so what would you call it? So oxygenated blood comes out of the left side, so unoxygenated, I suppose that's what you call it, yeah, unoxygenated blood. So the oxygen has come out of the blood because it's been fed to every single cell. So once the blood's been pumped around your whole body, it then comes up and into the right atrium, so the top right chamber. Then it drops down into the ventricle, which is that bottom right chamber. And then it's really strongly pumped up into your lungs. So it's pumped into your lungs, and then that's when it gets infused with oxygen, so the oxygen that you breathe. And then it's pumped down into the left atrium, so the top left chamber, and then down into the left ventricle, and then an even stronger pump into the rest of your bloodstream, so up into your brain, and then round your whole body. And that's happening with every single beat. So if we just take our hands back here now, and I wonder if any of us can even sense our heartbeat. So if you're quiet enough with your breath and quiet enough with your mind, can any of you even sense your heart beating? And you might just have a sense of like a one boom, 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 or you may be able to sense a boom, 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 boom. Just reminded me of Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze and Dirty Dancing. Or it can be called a lub dub, lub dub, lub dub. And what that sound is, it's the, so the blood is being pumped down into these different parts. And then so that it doesn't go back up, it doesn't go back on its journey, there's valves that kind of close. So you've got 2 sets of valves closing is the first lub, or the first sound, and then another set of valves closing is the next sound. So that's what that lub dub is. So it's the valves closing to stop that kind of backwash of blood flow. So keeping our hand here, I just want you to have a sense of what your heart needs to be healthy. And if you've got a free hand and you can just type that in, that would be fab. So for your heart to be functioning at its optimum, what does it need? And I know some of these things are obvious, but it's always nice for us to hear it. So one thing that I'm thinking of is it needs good posture, because if we were to come into a forward slouch, can you feel how your heart would be quite compressed in a forward slouch? So it's under a lot more pressure. So the heart needs good posture. Oh, that was nice, Bab. So infinity symbol there in the heart. Yeah, deoxygenated, thank you. So it needs breath. Yeah, absolutely. So it needs us to be using our lungs really efficiently and taking in as much oxygen as we can. And I know in Dream Body 1, we really looked at breathing, but as you breathe into your full capacity, you're taking in as much oxygen, so the equivalent surface area of a tennis court. And then that is diffusing into your bloodstream. So let's just have that sense as we really slow our breath down and keep it relaxed and keep it efficient. That's super important. But if you use your full lung capacity, you're taking in the equivalent surface area of a tennis court's worth of oxygen. And then that, as the blood is pumped into your lungs, that's infusing your lungs and then infusing all of your cells. So it needs breath, it needs space. So that's definitely down to that posture and how we're moving. Clear channels. Good nutrition, yeah, totally. So it needs good nutrition, because the food that you eat is infused into your bloodstream and then that's pumped around the whole of your body. And then really important that it has good fats, so not, yucky fats, which we've spoken a little bit about in your document. So it does like fat, but it likes good, healthy fats. And then it needs movement. So it needs good posture and it needs movement. So we should really be trying to raise our heart rate a little bit every day. Anything else that you can think that it needs? So your heart is an electromagnetic field, which you may have heard of before. But I read today that it's about 5,000 times stronger than the electromagnetic field in your brain. So it's huge, and it can be read outside of our body. So doctors can read it with an ECG, and picks up about 50 times stronger than if they were to put the same piece of equipment on the brain. So super, super strong. But because it hasn't got, I guess, the kind of the skull in the way of it being able to communicate outwards, it can be communicated and measured several feet outside of our body. So when we're interacting with people, we already know that it's not just the words that we're saying and our body language. It's literally we're communicating with our hearts. And you may have heard that, especially with little babies, they often suggest that, I know there's kind of mixed feedback, but that you sleep very close to your baby because the baby's heart regulates with your heart. But actually with your loved ones, your hearts are always regulating. And I just think that's really beautiful. Yeah, and stillness, absolutely. Yeah, so it loves to move and be pumped, but it also loves that stillness. That's really nice to connect. Yeah, imagining it full of glee. Okay, so now we have a sense of a little bit what it looks like and where it is. I now want you to have a sense of how deep it is inside your body. So we have the sternum here. So this is the sternum, and then these are all of the ribs. Yeah, I love the idea of communicating with the heart. Yeah, me too. And then you have your heart behind. So can you all just touch your sternum? So if you just kind of go up and down the sternum. So behind your sternum, you have your heart. So can you have a sense of that? And maybe you even want to just feel out onto the ribs on the left-hand side. So if your heart had eyes, it's like it would be kind of looking, that's pretty cute, it would be like this, kind of looking through one side. So maybe even have a sense of the perspective of your heart. So what does it see? So if your heart were to look to the left, it would see your left lung, and it's encased by your left lung. If your heart would look to the right, it would see the right lung. And actually, if it looks up and down, it would also see the lungs. So your lungs, it's like they have a little cutout. So the left lung is a little bit smaller than the right lung because it shares the space with the heart. So it's really like it's totally supported by your lungs. But then just below your heart is your diaphragm. So if we can take the other hand now and just place it there as the diaphragm. So most of us know that it's this lovely dome-shaped muscle. And the heart sits on the diaphragm and is attached to the diaphragm. So as you breathe in and your diaphragm moves down, so you can suck more air in, if your heart is attached to it, what is your heart going to be doing? Can you feel how your heart will be pulled down a bit as you breathe in? Yeah, exactly, Babs. And then, so just take a moment with that. As you breathe in, your heart moves down like it's on a little magic carpet or it's in an elevator. And then as you breathe out, it moves back up. And I think Babs said, so breathing is also going to really support the heart. Because this is its design. So it's designed to move with every single breath. So keep going with this, but I also want you to visualize that there is a ligament that attaches your heart to your sternum. So the heart isn't attached to it, but the ligament is attached to the sternum. And there's also a ligament that's attached to your neck. So it's like, so if your heart is here, there's an attachment to the sternum at the front, and then there's an attachment to the neck at the back. So it's like it's just kind of hanging, it's being dangled, like a little bungee. So as you breathe in, your heart is moving down, but it's like the top of it is almost being pulled up. So it gets this lovely stretch as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, it can just recoil. So your heart literally expands as you breathe in, lengthways. And then, I guess, kind of contracts as you breathe out. But then widthways, we've got the lungs expanding, haven't we? So we've got the two lungs expanding fully as we breathe in. And in a sense, that's kind of squishing the heart this way. And then as you breathe out, the lungs get smaller, and then the heart can just kind of nuzzle itself back out again. So really, I just want you to have a sense that your heart is being massaged by your breath. Very different if you're in a poor posture. So let's just try that. I know it doesn't feel great. But just notice how expressive can your heart be, how expressive can your breath be. It just feels totally different. Okay, now if you're not already standing, then just jump up. We're going to move the heart, and then we're going to exercise the heart. So for a moment, just keep one hand here. Bend your knees a little bit, and then I want you to curl your spine forward. So flex the whole thing, tuck your pelvis and flex your upper spine. And then do the opposite, stick your butt out and open your chest. And just think, okay, what direction is my heart moving in as I'm doing this? How is it moving? So can you imagine that the heart, it falls forward? So it's like it's now, as you come forwards, it's resting onto your sternum. And then as you go back, it's almost like it's resting back onto your spine. So as you go forwards, can you imagine your heart resting onto your sternum, dropping onto your sternum? And as you go back, can you imagine the heart just kind of resting and spreading out and lounging on the spine? A couple more times. And then see if we can feel what it does in lateral flexion. So as we side bend, you feel that it's going to drop to the side that you're going to. And then it comes back up. And then it drops the other way. And then it comes back up. And we mentioned that we have the lungs either side of it. So you could always imagine that it's just kind of resting into the pillow of your lung. And then coming back up, and then resting into the pillow of your lung. This is obviously not to scale. It's like it's just softening into a little squishy pillow, and then being pushed back up, and then over to the other side. So it's lovely support for your heart. And then we'll just try a little bit of rotation. So we're going to twist one way and the other. You could have a sense of your heart twisting around your spine. So we know that the lungs swing around the spine, but you've also got your heart swinging around your spine. And the top part of the spine twists a little bit more than the bottom part. So that would mean that the top part of your heart is getting a bit of a stretch, or twisting more at least than the bottom part. So your spine is getting this lovely twist, and the heart is getting this lovely twist. One more each side. Okay. And then we're going to try that to music. Do you have a band with you? If you've got it handy, then pick it up. Make sure it's relatively flat and pop it around the back of the ribs. I've got some lovely fun music for us. So if we're waiting for, as we're waiting for people, just have a sense of your posture, the posture of your heart. Can you imagine the front of your heart being open, the two sides of your heart, and even the back of your heart? So it's beautifully upright, it's being suspended from your sternum, suspended from your neck, and it's just sitting very comfortably on your diaphragm. And can you now take your focus to that heartbeat, that boom, 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 boom. And I chose this piece of music, one, because I just love Latin music anyway. It's a Cuban piece. But to me, it sounds like it's got a little bit of a kind of heartbeat in it. Can you hear that? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I can hear a little bit of a boom, boom, boom. Okay. So let's just move the heart forward and back to start with. Here we go. So we're going to flex, 2, 3, 4, and extend. 2, 3, 4, and flex. 2, 3, 4, and extend. So the heart comes forwards onto the sternum and back onto the spine. Forwards onto the sternum, back onto the spine. Can it spring off of the sternum and spring off of the spine? Let's try 2 more. And last one. And then we'll go side to side. So let's go right, left, right, left, right, left. So how's the heart moving? So it's shifting to the right, shifting to the left. And now I'm going to add some arms. So my arms are going to go in opposition to my heart. Very nice, everyone, looks fab. And as you're breathing, it's moving down as you breathe in and moving up as you breathe out. Can we do 4 more? And then we'll go from the top. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Let's go from the top. A bit faster, so forwards and back, forwards, back, forwards. Really allowing your heart to dance. 2 more. Last one, side to side. Just had an image of my heart almost just rebounding off of my lung or off of the band. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to circle. So let's go front, side, back, side. Front, side, back. And just think heart forwards, heart side, heart back, heart side. Can we go double speed? 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. And then reverse, go forwards, side, back, side. Forwards, side, back, side. Forwards, side, back, side. Forwards, side, back, side. And last one. Okay, now we're going to squat. So we bend the knees and stretch, and bend and stretch. And have a sense that as you come up, it's like your heart is opening. So your heart's going to fully stretch. Like you've got your arms overhead. Imagine that your heart always has its arms overhead. So open, down, is 2, and 2, and down. Let's go 4 more. Really lovely. You can even almost imagine that your arms start from your heart. Okay, now we're going to stay down in the squat and pulse. So pulse, 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 pulse. Very nice. Can we stretch the arms forward? 2, 3, 4, and back. 2, 3, 4. Forwards, 2. Forwards, 2, 3, 4, and back. 2, 4. Forwards, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. And just come back to your heart. So I know legs are probably burning. But how is your heart? Can it be upright? Can it move up and down as you breathe? Might be pumping a bit faster, which is great. 4 more with the arms. 2 more. And last one. Okay, really nice. Let's come up. We're going to take the band down. Stand in the center of the band. I know you can't see my feet. I think it's okay. So stand in the center of the band. Hold on to the band so there's a bit of tension. And then we're going to side bend to take your heart over to one side. And then back up. Over. Then we add the arms. So the arms move on a diagonal. Can you have a sense of your heart almost being as big as your arms are? So as big as your arms span. So this huge, expressive, open heart. Really nice. Let's just do 3 more. Arms going a little bit higher. Last one. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of the band. One hand on heart. If it helps, you can close your eyes. Notice heart. Bend your knees a little bit. And then I just want you to let your heart have a little bit of a dance. So let it move. And who cares what this looks like from the outside? None of us. How lovely can this feel from the inside? Can you imagine your heart? This amazing pump you've had your whole life. It's moving around, it's expressing itself, it's flexing, extending, twisting. And how many directions can this heart move in? Can it move quickly? Can it move slowly? And can it just be adaptive? Imagine going onto a dance floor now. It just feels like we wouldn't be at all self-conscious if you can just be totally in your experience. It's such a lovely place to be. Okay, now slowly bringing the movements smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually you come to a stop. But actually knowing that your heart never really stops moving. There's always pumping. It's always moving up and down and in and out as you breathe. And it's got these electromagnetic waves that are communicating with everything around us. So the next person you perhaps come into contact with, you can have a sense that not only is communication coming from your words and your posture, but your hearts are trying to find this kind of coherency. They're trying to find a level that they can match at. Okay, and then we'll bring arms down if they're not already down. So this is another Franklin method exercise. It's just to take your hands, you bring the backs of your hands together and all the way up. So it's like you stroke yourself up your belly, across your chest, and then you just take your arms up to the ceiling. And then they come back down again. And that'll be on an inhale. So you come up, and then down, and then up. And see if there are any images that kind of spontaneously come to mind as you're doing this. I've actually just had an image of it's Mount Pele, which is the volcano in Hawaii, and her erupting. So that kind of lava coming down, that molten lava from the floor, and then just erupting. And imagine if your heart could be as expressive as she is. So she is totally not sorry for her presence, this amazing volcano. And could you be the same? Could you be this creative and this kind of intuitive and this open in every moment? We'll do a couple more. So this is a lovely little movement to do if ever you're just feeling a little bit lackluster. Okay, and then bringing arms down. And we're going to finish with a little, almost a meditation from the heart. So having a sense of your amazing 3D heart that lives inside of your chest, inside of your lungs. Can you imagine that energetically it could get stronger and stronger and stronger? So your heart just feels so safe, it's so looked after and supported by you, by your structure, that it can just totally relax and really start to fully express itself. And can you imagine that? Because it gets so strong that it just starts to seep out of your body. Like it can be read from in front of you, from the sides of you, even from behind you. And that feel, that strength of your heart is so pure and so strong that it's really influencing each and every one around us. And I love that there's science to back that up, because we feel it, don't we? We totally feel it. You can definitely feel other people's emotions. But I'm loving just to start to understand, why is that a little bit more? And it's literally because we're picking up on these patterns. So our heart is constantly communicating with every cell in our body. And even though that sounds like it's a nice idea, it is truly happening. And when we experience different emotions, our heart behaves differently, it beats differently. So there's going to be a different communication with every cell in your body. If you're worried, if you're stressed, if you're angry, if you're peaceful, if you're excited. And it's not that any one of those emotions is actually better than the other. It's wonderful for your heart to have a full spectrum of emotions. But then it's having a sense of what serves me most of the time, what's going to serve me for 90% of my life. How do I want to be communicating with my cells most of the time? So let's see if we can really take this away with us, at least for the rest of the day. But for this to really be our focus for the week. So if anybody has any time now, if you just want to do a little bit of journaling, if there's anything you want to write down to yourself, if you want to sit down and do a 5-10 minute meditation and just having a sense of your heart. If there's anyone in your life that needs some support and you can have a sense of communicating with their heart, now might be a nice time to do some of that. And then also those times when you're going through a hard time, just to know that it's always within me, even though it's wonderful to take half an hour to really communicate with these body parts, they're always there. And they're always wanting that full expression of ourselves. I'm just going to read a couple of the comments. Yeah, so I read that before, Angela, but I love that. So I love the idea of communicating with the heart. And it feels so pure, doesn't it, from our hearts? I think because, well, for many reasons, but it just feels like it's from a really pure place when we totally communicate from our heart and not from a place of fear or judgment. And then Babs, I totally love that image, the heart, love and energy seeps out. Yeah, so if you have any insights that you want to share on the Facebook group or wherever, I would love to hear them. Yes, I'm just really feeling the love. Yeah, it feels, and I actually had a text from one of my best friends in Leeds about 5 minutes before we got started. She just said, "Oh, I just want to let you know that I love you." And it's, oh, That's, you know, she's often really lovely anyway, but it's nice that when you're actually taking more time to connect in, that you get that reaction from the outside environment. So it'll be interesting to see what comes forth this week for all of us. Oh, you're welcome. So have a wonderful few days, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Babs, have a really happy birthday. Lots of heart love from all of us. Yeah, lovely imagery. Yeah, it's so nice, and lovely for you to take into any of your workouts this week. I've been to the gym a couple of times last week, and I was kind of doing lots of colon work because we were talking about that last week. So this week I'll be with my heart and just imaging what my heart's doing. So yeah, I gotta go with my seeping heart. All right, lots of love, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.